whole city is abuzz with talk about this new spot, which is Edinburgh Street Food, a new street food market right here in the East End, right next to St. James Quarter. We have been missing something like this for ages. This is a market where you can actually sit down. There's 10 different vendors of street food. Most of these are already established on the street food scene here, but this actually makes it super easy to try many of them all at once. They're open 7 days a week from 11 to 11. I think that on Fridays and Saturdays it's actually 11 to 1 a.m. Wonderful, like what a feat. Thank you Edinburgh Street Food for catering to all of us locals who actually want to eat some street food even outside of like fringe times. Well, anyway, we have decided to come here multiple times because we want to try food from almost all of the vendors. There's 10 of them in total, and we've already tried 2 of them in the past. The rest is gonna be 8 vendors, which we're gonna come in and try, and we're gonna show you all the beautiful, sexy shots of their food and also tell you what we thought about it and what our favorites were. Alrighty, enough talking, let's get to the eating. So this place has just opened about a week ago in Edinburgh's Omni Centre, on top of Leith Walk, close to the tram line and just next to the St. James Quarter. As you can see, the seating is plentiful both indoors and outdoors, and as much as it is nice to have a little explore, you don't actually have to get up and order with the vendors directly. How it works is that you simply scan a QR code which is on your table together with your table number and make your order and payment online. The paper menu and the online menu differ a bit, so I don't recommend getting excited for anything on the printout before ordering. And after that, it's all table service, which is just amazing. You can absolutely order from 3 different vendors all at once and nobody can judge you for your lack of loyalty. My first meal was from Bandits, and it was a strong start. The tofu bao bun itself was really nicely flavored, and the smashed cucumber added a lot of extra seasoning to everything else on the table. Simon really loved the fried cauliflower balls, which came in a pretty big portion, so it felt like great value. Simon got the beef ragu from Fabrica, which was on the black peppery side, and overall a solid option if you don't feel like a fried meal. Next day, I went for a lunch from Antojitos, a Mexican eatery bringing an all plant-based menu to ESF. I loved that you can pick 3 taco fillings for a tenner, a great way to try all the ones that caught your eye on their menu. Their guac was also right up my alley, a great choice if you want a lot of flavor but want to keep it lighter or just more socially responsible. Simon ordered some Peruvian guac from The Peruvian to compare. This was a lot more chunky and oniony and overall tasted a bit more like a veggie salsa to me. The sweet potato fries were great and satisfying and a great way to tide him over before he got his chorizo roll from the House of Tapas. I've noticed that in tapas restaurants you sometimes get your chorizo more on the softer side rather than the crispy side. This was a case of the former and came over a bed of delicious pan-sauteed potatoes with peppers and onions. We were super excited to end our lunch with some soft serve from Softcore. They are bringing some inspired flavors and we chose the miso caramel in the form of their apple pie sundae. Oh boy, this has definitely been one of our ESF highlights. Our final visit was on a Saturday evening, and you can probably tell from the b-roll that this place gets much busier on a weekend night than it was during our weekday lunchtimes. And I finally got to get some treats from Junk. In case you haven't noticed, I love their food, it's just so fun and inspiring and never let me down in the past. It was the pulled pork green curry paratha and their mix of nuts, pork scratchings and popcorn, which just goes so great with a drink. Simon opted in for the duck burger from Wattle the Duck, and it was delightful, especially if you are an appreciator of duck like me. But I'd say it was a bit dinky for me. I could definitely eat 2 of them. As a side, we got classic salted chips, and I'm just gonna say we had to order seconds, because these were some of the nicest chips I've had in Edinburgh. Great potato flavor, generously salted, super fresh. And it wouldn't be us if we didn't go for a dessert again. Softcore had our back and delivered a wonderful rhubarb crumble sundae with a lime and creme fraiche sorbet base, which was so different from the miso caramel. Extremely refreshing, but still nice and creamy. We made it, my peeps. 3 days at Edinburgh Street Food, the newly opened indoor street food market, although you can see that there's also plenty of outdoor seating. This was a lot of fun, and this is one of those videos where I'm just like so thankful that this is my hobby, because I don't think I could ever be able to justify this otherwise. One of the things that I've noticed about this place is that it's not cheap, but this is not this specific spot's fault, because I think that street food in Edinburgh and Scotland in general just is expensive. You know, this is not your sort of street food situation when you're somewhere in like East Asia and street food is the cheapest option you have. I feel like in Scotland, yeah, that's not how that works. However, I will say that the vendors here are curated amazingly. I think that everyone will find something they will love. There are vegan options, there are options for kids, they are just like small sides, there are like beer snacks, so you can definitely come here for just some drinks. There's desserts and coffee. I love the idea of coming here with some friends, especially in the summer, and getting just some coffee, ice cream, while my friends get, you know, beer and fried chicken. And as I mentioned at the start of this video, we have succeeded at trying 8 out of the 10 vendors here, but that leaves us with 2 vendors that we didn't try any food from in this venue. But we have tried these before in other locations, so I'm just gonna quickly tell you what my thoughts were. First of all, Homie's Pizza, who have their kind of like home shop in Waverley Mall, and I think that in that one you can get their pizza a bit cheaper, so that's a little pro tip, but it's delicious. Like if you're here and you're thinking about pizza, Homie's Pizza is amazing. They make this kind of like cheesy crust, and I think that their like signature Homie slice, I'm trying to see from here which one it is, but they have one with like pepperoni and jalapenos, and it's spicy and it's cheesy and it's like very over the top, and like for what you're paying, even here, it's still a really like a chunky meal, which you might, you know, take leftovers home from. They also do vegan pies, I see from here. Yay! Then the other one is Chix. Chix is a fried chicken place. They do have a spot on Dalry Road. I have to say it's definitely one of like the top fried chicken places in Edinburgh. It's lovely. If you feel like fried chicken, you know, don't hesitate to get it here in Edinburgh Street Food. But on Dalry Road, they do have quite a large shop as well with like big tables. If you watched my previous videos, you know I like big tables. So you could probably bring like a board game there. Is it just me? Is it just me who wants to bring like a big board game to a fried chicken shop?
Yes.
Well, anyway, Chix does have a cute shop where you wouldn't feel totally out of place doing just that. So that's my review. Out of the other 8, I would say that like if you're here and you really don't know where to start with junk. I know that it's not the most appetizing of names, but they truly are the masters of flavor. It is a bit on the pricier side, but again, street food in Edinburgh always is, and you're gonna be getting something quite unexpected, something refreshing, something new, and you're gonna feel like you really spend your money on something that's very, very worth it. I also would recommend the soft serve place, Softcore. I did ask Simon what his favorite was, and I know that he really liked the junk meals. He also liked the duck burger, and he very much enjoyed those little fried cauliflower bites from Bandits. Honestly, like everything we had was really nice, so you can't really go wrong with anything. the portions are on the smaller side, but you know, to look on the bright side of things, at least you get to try more things. But just make sure that you have enough of a budget when you're coming here, because like once you find a table on a busy night, you would be a fool to just give it up. You just like sit down, have a couple of beers, and just keep the street food coming. And you know, tomorrow you can go to like all of the free museums and galleries. You don't need any money for tomorrow. Spend it all here. Yeah. Last thing I'm gonna say, this place is dog friendly and very family friendly. You know, tonight, Saturday night, there are so many dogs and so many babies, and everyone seems to be having a great time. And like no weird like turf war between dogs and babies either. Okay, before I go, I definitely am super curious to know which one of these meals you would want to try, which one of these vendors you would order from first. And if you've been here before, I'd love to know what favorites you found for yourself. And before I sign off, don't forget that if you want to follow some more of my little casual everyday adventures, you can also follow me on Instagram, either on Kakibot, that's where I mostly post artsy things, or Kaki blog, where I post things about my life in Edinburgh. So yeah, I'll see you there. And as always, thank you for watching, and I shall see you soon. Bye.